I want to make sure that I speak about that. And if I'm able to do it, I want to talk about it.
Morgan Freeman has blasted the doors open and revealed how Oprah has shockingly been complicit in the deaths of millions back during Bush's invasion of Iraq by manufacturing support for it with her show.
The real problem, from my perspective, is not that when she was well, let's play this. Here's a clip of Oprah from 2002.
Even Oprah got in on the act, featuring in October 2002, New York Times reporter Judith Miller.
The U.S. intelligence community believes that Saddam Hussein has deadly stocks of anthrax, of botulinum toxin, which is one of the most virulent poisons known to man.
Liberal hawk Kenneth Pollock.
And what we know for a fact from a number of defectors who've come out of Iraq over the years is that Saddam Hussein is absolutely determined to acquire nuclear weapons and is building them as fast as he can.
And the right-hand man to Ahmed Chalabi.
And so, do the Iraqi people want the American people to liberate them?
Absolutely. In 1991, Iraqi people...
I hope that doesn't offend you.
When one guest dared to express doubt, Oprah would have none of it.
I just don't know what to believe with the media.
Oh, we're not trying to show you propaganda. We're just showing you what is.
I understand that.
Okay, you have a right to your opinion. You know what I mean?
Sam Sater has always been a vocal critic of Oprah, and he had a scathing criticism of her to offer.
The real problem with Oprah is that she doesn't really, and maybe she does, and she's just sort of been hiding it all this time, and but she doesn't really seem to understand a question of power, of systems, and so, you know, I mean, if she came out tomorrow and said, like, look, we got some real problems with antitrust issues and with wealth inequality, that we need to structurally change things, and we need to card check. That's the one thing that we really need to. I mean, if those things were happening, I would be like, you know, all right, probably could vote for Oprah.
She did a panel where Ahmed Chalabi's right hand or spokesperson was by far the most ethical person on it, because
That's
at
right.
least they had a personal financial self-interest in it. Judith Miller was like a line. I mean, maybe they all had they did. Because who else would know who Kenneth Pollock is if he didn't write that friggin' book?
Right, exactly.
Jesus.
There's nothing like having Curveball's right-hand man on your show to prove that we should go to war.
Yeah. And then also, and the first one was Judith Miller. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
great.
I mean, it was
great stuff.
She's going to launch the wokest drone strikes.
The wokest drone strikes.
So the public opinion on her is now starting to shift.
I'm so glad the internet is waking up about this long forehead velociraptor looking at. I am so tired of Oprah, I really am. All these people in the world got a problem with you and you think you ain't the problem. Even Taraji. I mean, come on. Nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical, baby. I'm just saying, nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical. So me seeing Oprah get dragged, I'm like, ooh, hit her again. Ooh, hit her again. Hit her again. Especially how she did them people in Maui talking about, I'm gonna pray for you while you got all them acres of land. Get the land away, baby. Faith without works is dead. Prayer without works is dead. Give the land back, baby. So anyway, it's been nice seeing the internet drag Oprah. I know Monique is so happy that the internet is finally waking up about Oprah. Like, she gives me the worst vibes ever. And the first red flag was that billionaire shit. That was the first red flag for me. But then she kept having issues with people, and people kept talking about their issues with her, and I was just like, ooh. You a real nasty type of woman.
The worst of the allegations now facing her, though, is the fact that she may have been seemingly involved in child trafficking after opening up a school in South Africa. When she pretended to be outraged about what was going on at her school, not many people believed her, especially considering her track record.
Something strange is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls.
Go look and see what happened to them girls.
So Oprah opened the school all the way back in 2007. And since the school's opening, it has been marred with many different controversies. You see, shortly after the school opened, a matron of the school was charged with touching several of the girls in a very inappropriate manner. When the crime eventually came to light, Oprah herself went to fire the school's headmistress. Then, in another incident that happened in 2011, law enforcement investigated the body of a newborn that was found in one of the students' bags. Apparently, one of the girls at the school gave birth, but there were no charges filed against her after this incident. There were also other scandals the school was involved in, like in 2009 when 7 students were suspended for harassing their classmates. And now there's a new scandal that the school is known for, as many people online have started spreading rumors that girls are disappearing from the school. According to these rumors, several students from the school have gone missing. But as of right now, nobody is sure why these rumors have started, as there is currently no news reporting that there have been missing girls at Oprah's school. Regardless, these rumors have managed to go viral all over TikTok and Twitter, and they continue to be spread to this day.
And now there is a whole situation with missing kids in South Africa.
South Africa has seen a huge spike in child kidnapping and murder in the last few months. Civil organizations are worried that the country is losing its fight against the menace. Our reporter, Colton Ongmu, has filed this story.
Over the past few months, several posters like these have been circulating on social media, with pleas to help find these missing children who have been allegedly kidnapped. Communities and civil society organizations believe that the issue of kidnapping is getting out of hand. According to the South African Police Service Missing Persons Bureau, a child goes missing every 5 hours in South Africa. A non-profit group, Missing Children South Africa, says the country is losing the fight against the rising number of child kidnappings.
Unfortunately, South Africa has seen an alarming increase in the number of kidnappings being reported in our country in the last year. We're currently dealing with over 1,000 kidnappings being reported monthly in South Africa. We've got different types of kidnappings that we are dealing with. We've got opportunistic kidnappings, family and parental abductions, ransom demands, robberies, hijackings, kidnappings for traditional medicine purposes, and then also human trafficking that is happening. South Africa has also been declared as a human trafficking hub by the US Department of State at the end of 2021.
According to a UNICEF South Africa 2021 report, between October and December 2021, 352 children were killed, 394 survived attempted murder, and 2,048 were victims of physical assault. In 2022, statistics between April and June, 243 children were killed.
Coincidence? Or engineered? I'll let you reach your own conclusion. That being said, her connections to Jeffrey Epstein are also shocking. His declassified documents revealed a list of surprising names, one of which was Oprah Winfrey. Now, many are wondering if she was trafficking children for him.
I've been so many years being silenced, not only by the perpetrators that have me, but also by society, and I'm tired of being silenced. I would like to make it very clear, Ghislaine is as guilty, if not worse, than Jeffrey. It was very difficult for me, a very vulnerable, naive 22-year-old. All of a sudden, I'm thrown into the sex trafficking ring, and once you're in, you can't escape. Ghislaine was the chief orchestrator. She engineered everything. You answered to Ghislaine. This is the same woman that grabbed my arm and forced me into a room to be raped by Jeffrey. None of us were safe with Jeffrey alive. And none of us are safe with Ghislaine and the co-conspirators out in the streets. Ghislaine needs to be behind bars for the rest of her life.
It is alleged that he was about to blow the lid on everyone's involvement in the operation before he was found dead in his cell. It was ruled a suicide, but his own brother doesn't believe that to be the truth.
When I first heard that my brother was dead, I actually heard it on CNN. The government did not notify me, as they've claimed. I thought, okay, he killed himself. At the time, I had no reason to doubt it, and I just figured that was his decision, and I respected it. I grieved the loss of a brother, but it was his decision. But then, after the autopsy was done and all the other information started coming out, it became apparent that it was not a suicide. When you looked at the autopsy results, the photographs we have of the body, the details of the mark on his neck, compared to the way they said he was hanging, nothing matches up. If you looked at all of these facts and evidence, you would not come up with the conclusion that it was a suicide, other than the fact that Bill Barr made that ridiculous statement about it being a suicide, and the chief medical examiner, Barbara Sampson, overrode the actual pathology of the autopsy and declared it a suicide.
Let's just talk about that for a second. So I want to understand the timeline of this, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did you retain Dr. Michael Baden to conduct the autopsy here?
I Dr. Michael Baden to witness the autopsy. The autopsy was performed by the city pathologist. I, as a family member, have the right to have my own pathologist be there and to conduct an autopsy once the body is claimed, if we deemed it was necessary.
And the reason I ask you that is because you just said a second ago you thought that your brother's death was a suicide, you were mourning his loss, but there seemed to be something to indicate to you, I want a second opinion, to someone to observe the autopsy.
And Oprah's connection to Epstein wasn't bad enough. There is also the fact that she was on really good terms with another known trafficker, Diddy. And let me tell you right now, Diddy was also involved with minors.
You made a comment, right, saying that you knew someone that went through Jimmy Hinchman proffer agreement for a case. And the proffer agreement revealed that Jimmy Hinchman, he could have walked away if he would have given up Diddy. What you mean by that?
Well, what happened was that they had 9 different sections with Jimmy Hinchman regarding his proffer agreement. So that means the feds went in there 9 different times to talk to him. And in those sessions, they asked him, what do you know about Sean Puffy Combs or Sean Diddy Combs? I don't think it was Puffy at that time. It wasn't Diddy at the time. But what do you know about Sean John Puffy Combs having sex with an underage boy? And you got to realize, and people never think about this, that Jimmy and his brother, I think they had the same charges. But his brother walked away from that, and Jimmy gets life without the possibility of parole, I think. Which is crazy. For any charge. Nobody should spend their life in jail for charges. And just charges. But I think they try to tie him to some murders or something like that.
Back in May, during the height of the Diddy scandal, a source sent Page 6 a mind-blowing VHS tape that was actually used as an invitation to Diddy's 29th birthday bash in 1998. The video featured a star-studded lineup, including Oprah, Donald Trump, and many other names. Then there are also the allegations of how Oprah stomped on other people's careers to make one for herself. For example, she used the death of Breonna Taylor for her own magazine's publicity.
And a way to get back in the good graces with black people, she has decided to put Breonna Taylor on the cover of Old magazine. And I just want to say, I mean, that's cool and all on the surface. Please arrest the officers that killed her unjustly. But putting all that aside, you don't give a damn about no Breonna Taylor. You don't give a damn about none of this shit. You don't give a damn about black folks in general. You didn't give a damn about Monique, and when she begged you not to bring her family onto the show, you know, when her family let her brother screw her, and you knew that was hard. I mean, you should know how hard that was when your whatever it was in your family that was screwing you too, and then your family had you cooking dinner and breakfast and eggs and grits and greens for the same one that was screwing you the night before. It made you feel bad when you got pregnant at the age of 13, all because you was getting, I mean, just the messed up mindset. You should definitely understand. You are the one that said, you know, it feels good. You said that you are the one that got all these pictures with Epstein's, and you quiet about your shit, but you lied about everybody else. You are the one that sent Gil around there to interview R. Kelly and look at him like he's in the wrong when y'all participate in the same activities. And yes, that includes Naomi Campbell too.
And then there's the whole Taraji P. Henson mess. It was December, and Taraji P. Henson told The Hollywood Reporter that she was done with the business. She was fed up with not getting paid enough and would fight tooth and nail every project to get that same freaking quote.
And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I think it's an important message for people to hear because we see the lights, camera, action.
I'm just supposed to smile and grin and bear it and just keep, enough is enough. That's why I have other things. I have my TPH brand. I have my mental wellness. I have other things because this industry, if you let it, it'll steal your soul. But I refuse to let that happen.
Yes.
After what she said went viral, Henson did a longer interview with the New York Times. In it, she spoke out against racism in Hollywood, unequal pay, and bad working conditions on Empire and The Color Purple sets. This made people wonder what role Oprah might have played. Oprah told Entertainment Tonight on the Golden Globes red carpet that the rumors that she and Henson were fighting were not true. Another way Oprah found a way to exploit the public was seemingly during the Maui wildfire period, where thousands of people lost their lands, and Oprah didn't. Not to mention, she continues to suspiciously price out natives out of their own land still.
The people of Hawaii do not like Oprah. She has taken so much from them, and with the recent Maui fires, she's only made it worse. Before we get into recent news, I want to remind you guys that back in 2019, we had the same problem. Oprah owns a large part of this island, and she actually has a private road. And when there were fires back in 2019, the citizens needed to use her road to get to safety, yet she wasn't that open about letting anyone touch her land, even though it wasn't ever her land in the first place. But people were all over Twitter begging her to let the locals use her road.
In addition to that, last year, Oprah Winfrey admitted to using a weight loss drug. However, she recently stepped down from that role to avoid any perceived conflict of interest as she prepared to host a special on the topic. During the show, Winfrey opened up about the shame she had felt for years, wrongly believing that her weight struggles were due to her own shortcomings.
I took on the shame that the world gave to me. For 25 years, making fun of my weight was national sport.
Emotional, shocking, revelatory.
This is it.
Oprah's return to primetime television tonight here on ABC.
You've received a lot of criticism for that, you and your family. What do you want to say about that?
I would say walk a mile in our shoes.
Critics argued that Winfrey glossed over important details about the limitations and potential risks of these drugs and ignored the primary barriers that prevent many people from accessing them, such as high costs and lack of insurance coverage. Do you think Oprah is being bankrolled by major corporations and the government and serves as their mouthpiece? Let us know in the comments.